you trying to make a dang club banger, man? Ooh, I got y'all the damn tips, the tricks, the what hows, the who hows. Boy, I got you it all, but alright, I'm gonna teach you how to make a club banger, even though I never made a club banger.
You stupid.
Nah, I'm just kidding. But look, you know, maybe I never made a club banger, but I know how to make the beats for club bangers. So I'm gonna show y'all all the easy little tips and tricks and whatnot. So let's get into this bad boy. So y'all heard that little intro beat that I played y'all, okay? This is the beat that I'm going to be breaking down, showing y'all kind of like the, you know, what you should be doing to make this kind of sound, what sounds you should be looking for, what kind of patterns, you know, you just got to make it all smooth, you know what I mean? Okay, so if we get into this bad boy, I'm going to kind of break it down sound by sound and kind of show y'all like patterns, right? This is a little different than my normal videos. Usually what I do is like I cook the beat up as the video, but I kind of made this beat off camera, so I kind of want to break it down and kind of show y'all. So this was the main freaking pattern right here. It sounded like this. Oh, sorry. I should probably put it on that. Now I added a little variation for the end. So yeah, nothing too crazy. Now what I will say is important is well, first off, make sure you're doing like 100 BPM range. I would say like anywhere between like, you know, like that 95 to 105 range is like perfect for these beats, you know. Do something in that range. And I want to show you something important. So this sound has like some delay to it, kind of, as you can hear, like is it kind of, you know, delays a little, but I want to show you something important. You want to make sure you have like these bounce notes, kind of, and what I'm referring to a bounce note is like this one right here, this G sharp. Say I take this away, listen to this melody. See, it's not bad, but now I'm not really, you know, it's not bouncing like it should be. Like, add it back. It gives it a whole different, like, the actual like vibe of the track is actually bouncy now, bro. Like, that shit is bouncing.
What do you mean by that?
You know what I mean? Like, you want it to bounce. Like, man, it's a club beat, bro. You want people bouncing in the club, man. You know what I mean? Whatever you gotta bounce, bounce it, man.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
But yeah, that's what I did for the main melody. Let me move into the next sound. Actually, I'm gonna keep the first one playing. I added like a cool little lead to this. Is the first sound not playing? Maybe I can do this. Yeah, so it's just a little bit of a, you know, a filler to kind of progress the beat. Like, you feel like it gives it some more kind of empty. But for the hook, you kind of bring this in. I don't know, you know, you want to make sure you add these other like leads. When I make these club banger type of beats, I want to make sure like I have some type of lead that's making the beat feel like it's like, I don't know, there, like it's present. It's like, it's kind of progressing the beat. I don't know how to describe it. Like, you see what I'm saying though. It's nice and bouncy. It helps like make the track sound more full. So you take it out, it's kind of empty, you know. But that's it for that. But moving into the next thing that's always important is I like to have a bass that doesn't necessarily have like a lot of bass in it. So I added this right here. You see, like, it's bassy, but it's not like so bassy to the point where it's like overkill, because you're going to be adding another bass later on, and I'll get into that when we get there. But so, you know, we'll just play what we have so far. Here. So yeah, like I always like to do, make sure you add like some sort of variation on that fourth bar. That way it kind of symbolizes, but recognize that's the end of the bar, moving into the next.
You idiot. You're honestly an idiot.
Something I like to do. A lot of people already do it, obviously. Nothing new, but it is something you should do. Moving into the actual, like, I guess, drum part now. I'll go ahead and mute this. We'll get to this. So I added this clap right here. And I wanted, well, actually, originally I added this snap right here. And I didn't like how, like, empty it sounded. Like, it didn't feel like if you play the beat like that, like, you feel how weak that is, but a club banger, that's just like, that's so weak, you know? You want like something hard hitting, something that's like, I don't know, you just like, it just like, you just play that snap and it sounds so weak. Like, you feel how weak that is, but you add the clap onto it. You know what I mean? And now you kind of have this reverb clap slash snap. And it's cool because what I did for the beat was I kept in the clap and snap for the hook, and then for the verse I just did the clap. It's good to have variation throughout your hooks and verses. Obviously, you don't want everything to be exactly the same, or else the beat doesn't progress at all. Or digress, I guess, however you want to look at it. Because you definitely want to take sections of the beat out for the verse. So yeah, moving into the next thing, we have the, I think it was, yeah, a little ring. It's a little perk. I think I just added like one. You know, like, people like overdo perks a lot. I'll tell you, like, you really don't have to. It's not necessary. Like, it's very, it adds a little more to the song, but it's nothing too crazy. When you're making these club banger songs, you want people to be able to rap or sing over it, depending on what you're kind of looking for. So you don't want to add this crazy amount of sounds to it to the point where the artist can't even find a flow or sing on this beat, potentially. Then the next thing was the hi-hats. Let's see how I did the hi-hats. So I didn't do nothing too crazy for it. It was just, yeah, like this. And then repeat. I'm not going to play the whole thing. It's just repeating this 2 bars right here. But you see, it's bouncy. See what I mean? Like, it's not a 2-step pattern. I would advise, like, don't do you could do a 2-step hi-hat pattern, but if you do, make sure you add, like, maybe some rolls or some lower notes or higher notes on the hi-hats. But personally for me, I like to make a more bouncy hi-hat pattern like this one. I just feel like it gives more rhythm to the song, honestly. So yeah, moving into the next thing, I got the open hi-hat. Once again, I don't think I did anything too special with this. Let's look. Yeah, it's just there, and then it comes back in. Like I said, nothing special, but like once you play it all together, it kind of comes together. And then for the kick, I think I kept it pretty simple. Nothing too crazy. But this is pretty much the drums, like. So yeah, like honestly, you know, you listen to it, and it's really not that crazy. Like, you don't need like crazy drum patterns, loops, kicks. You don't need 70 kicks. You don't need 100 perks. You don't need 100 claps. Go and listen to any club banger that's ever come out, and you will see that these songs are not that complex, y'all. They're really not. You know, in our heads, we make it seem so much more complex than it really is. And that's because, y'all, the more open the beat is, the more open it is for the artist to work on. So do not overcomplicate these things. Don't add too many sounds. Don't add too much of one sound. Make it bouncy. Bouncy. Yeah, make that shit bounce, right?
Y'all know what's going on. And so do I.
Yeah, you want it to be bouncy, but not overcomplicated or overdone. That's essentially what I'm saying. Let me stop complicating things. And then getting into the final sound here is the actual 808 itself. And I guess just for reference, I just literally copied the original bass pattern, but I filled it out, like, you know, Control L, I think that's what it is, or whatever. So I filled the entire pattern up like this to follow exactly, and it just does this variation. So now if we come back here and add in this bass, here's how it sounds with both of them playing. So yeah, now you see it's a lot more full, right? It gives more weight to the track, right? Because if you only play one, there's the track is gonna sound so weak without that second bass. It's gonna sound not lifeless, but it's gonna, like, the fullness of the track. There's gonna be no, like, rhythm. And like I've been saying this entire track, there will be no bounciness. Nobody will be bouncing to this.
But what the hell?
You want bounciness to this track. You know what I mean? That is a club banger. You want people bouncing, 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 bouncing. So, altogether, this is what it sounds like. Even though you heard the intro, I'll play it again. So, you know, you see, it's not that complicated, y'all. You just want to make sure you're doing rhythmic things, if that makes sense. You just do things, I don't know, add notes in a rhythmic fashion. You don't want to make things just so, like how I explained, like, these notes, right? You know, you want, like, taking out this note, like, you see, like, it doesn't, there's no rhythm, but adding, like, these notes in between, you want to add notes in between to give rhythm, okay? You know, that creates a whole new bounce to the song. So, yeah, just, when you're making these tracks, if I had to give a few tips just to finish it off here, you know, fill in these empty notes to kind of create a bounce to the song. Don't overcomplicate the drums. That is, you know, that's going to kill the track and the artist's flow. And yeah, just make sure the drums are drumming, man. You want to make sure, like, and when I'm talking about the bass, make sure there is bass to the song, okay? No club banger doesn't have bass in it, okay? You want to make sure the club is shaking and other people are shaking, okay?
But what the hell?
Have a great day. I'll keep dropping these cool little tutorials / you know, cook up videos that I have. But either way, have a great day. Peace.